The Louisiana Purchase, and the Lewis and Clark Expedition by Nikki, Lexi, Sydney, and Lindsay.
Howdy-hoo, y'all. Howdy. What do you want to talk about? How about that great expedition on the Louisiana Purchase? Wasn't that expedition with those two fine guys named Lewis and Clark? Yeah, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's jump back a little. Okay. I know Lewis was born in Virginia on August 18th, 1774, and I know Clark was born on August 1st, 1770 in Virginia. Thomas Jefferson was also born in Virginia on April 13th, 1773. Holy people born in Virginia, I know, but we should probably skip ahead just a little. Yeah, we probably shouldn't skip that far back, if you know what I mean. Yep. But when you said we should go ahead of ourselves a little, did you mean when Thomas Jefferson debated the Louisiana Purchase with France? Yeah, good thing he got that land. Didn't a man named Napoleon Bonaparte? Not Napoleon Dynamite, sorry to hurt your feelings or let you down, but you know, yeah. He was a French guy that had plans for the Louisiana Purchase. Yeah, his plans were to have thousands of French farmers settle there. He sure did. Napoleon also wanted the farmers to raise food for the slaves that worked at the sugar plantations in the Caribbean for France. New Orleans was also part of the Louisiana Purchase, and Napoleon even got close to the ports to close in good Americans so they would have no way to transfer their food or crops to the market. Well, that's just a little bit rude. Those poor farmers had nowhere to send their crops. Luckily, Thomas Jefferson got a little concerned and suspicious about the American farmers. In 1803, he even sent one of his homies, James Monroe, to the France to offer $7.5 million for New Orleans. But sadly, Napoleon changed his plans by the time Monroe got to France. But when Napoleon changed his plans, he didn't need Louisiana anymore. So Napoleon offered Monroe Louisiana. Monroe rushed to Thomas Jefferson and told him the great news. Jefferson said yes to the offer in a blink of an eye. Well, toast my fritters and call me Jack. Thomas Jefferson then bought the Louisiana Purchase for $15 million in April 30th, 1803. That is a lot of money. It's a good thing we bought it because by the noble bargain, and Thomas Jefferson didn't even hesitate to buy it because it was only 3 cents an acre. Got that right, it doubled our country's size. Can you believe that? No way, Jose. So about those two guys, Lewis and Clark, why did they go on the expedition? Good question. Thomas Jefferson sent them, Lewis and Clark, and 45 other members of an expedition to explore the new land. Oh, how I remember. Their expedition started at the Mississippi River in May 1804. Correct. At first they used boats to travel up the Mississippi River. Yeah. Didn't they start in St. Louis? Yeah. They also traveled by foot, wagons, oxes, and horses too. Cool. But did you also know some other major motives to set off this expedition was to hopefully be friendly with the Indians so they could might and be willing to trade. A second motivation was that they wanted to find the Northwest Passage. The Northwest Passage was a water route across North America that explorers have been trying to find ever since Christopher Columbus himself was here. But sadly, they never found it because it never existed. But the third motive was to see what Thomas Jefferson had bought exactly. On the first day of the expedition, Lewis and Clark and the 45-member team started in St. Louis on the Mississippi with 3 boats upstream. After months of traveling, they set up camp in the winter by Medan village in what President de North Dakota. At camp, they met a French fur trapper. The French fur trapper brought along with him a 16-year-old wife named Sacagawea. She was a Shoshone Indian, or as I like to call her, Swagagawea. That's a knee slapper. Toast my fritters and call me Jack. But anyways, Lewis and Clark were hoping Sacagawea, or Swagagawea, would translate for them when they got to the Shoshone territory. At camp in North Dakota, one of the 45 members named Jedediah Smith got attacked by a big grizzly bear. After he got attacked by a grizzly bear, he had his ear re-stitched. Then, after a while after that, they packed up camp and headed west. When they got to their next destination, it was cold winter. That was the Rocky Mountains, folks. That's right, the Rocky Mountains. Bonjour, the Rocky Mountains. It was so cold, people started dying and getting diseases. But then, another party called the Johners split up from the rest of all the people moving west. That's called the cannibalism. That's when it started. They moved west because they thought it was a shortcut, but it wasn't. It took a couple weeks longer and ended up with no survivors. Maybe a couple, but probably not. We'll never know. Let's just say it was very tough to overcome that. But later, after the expedition ended in 1806, well, everyone died. Good night, folks. I'll be here all day, all week, whenever you like it. Whoa. Don't get carried away, Nikki. We still have to talk about manifest. You talk about it. So, how is the manifest destiny related? Well, it's when everybody eventually started moving west, or by the other coast, if you know what I'm saying. California girls. No. Okay. Anyways, what was it? Well, manifest destiny is the act of moving west. When everybody started packing up their things and move west. Right? Toots. But, I think it's related because when everybody started moving west, we were looking for land to farm on, sort of. I mean, that's part of the reason. And when we got the Louisiana Purchase, it probably opened a lot more opportunities for farmers to put their land there and build houses. Exactly. Especially up in the Oregon territory, too. They have really rich soil up there. And if you think about it, if it weren't for the whole manifest destiny, we wouldn't have as much land. Because we did also gain a lot of other land from a lot of other wars. Thank you, folks. I'll be here all day, all week, whenever you'd like. We don't have time for that. Yes, we do. No, ain't nobody got time for that. Totes my goats.